headphones to camp. Okay? All right, so now that we've cut you off from the outside world, let's talk about communication. Okay, so there's basically 3 ways that we communicate between campers and parents. Okay, one is your old-fashioned snail mail, writing a letter. Okay, parents, we absolutely suggest that you fill out, pre-address the envelopes if you're going to have your son writing letters. You might even want to pre-stamp them. We will have stamps for them if they run out of stamps or lose their stamps or anything like that. We do teach the kids actually how to write an address on an envelope. Fred actually stands there and actually tells the kids how to do it. But to make life easier, you might want to pre-address some envelopes and stamps. Okay, so that's regular mail. The other major way that pretty much I'd say 75 to 85% of our families are using now is what we call camp stamps. Okay, Dewey will show you where to find this in CampMinder, but camp stamps is email. Okay, it's a one-way email system. You write an email through camp stamps through your CampMinder account. It costs like, I think, 25 cents per email, which is less than a letter in a stamp. Okay, and you send off that email as long as we get it before. Is it $1 now? I have no idea. We'll check. I'm sorry. I apologize if I lied. You send the email through CampMinder and through Camp Stamps. That email comes to us. As long as we get it by 9 o'clock in the morning, your son will get that email that afternoon at the end of lunch. Okay, so we print out the emails and we hand it to them with the regular mail that comes in. Mail is always given out at the end of lunch. If you want your son to get something that day, it has to be in by 9 a.m. Okay? That's the one way of it. The other nice feature of Camp Stamps is there's a little button where you just click it off, and when you click that, when you print out your email, a blank page gets attached to the email. Okay? And that blank page is all your son needs to write on with pen, and we'll tell you guys that you need pen, not pencil, so that he can see it. With black pen, they write on that piece of paper, they hand that in as their letter, and then that gets scanned in, and it ends up as a PDF in your email right back to you. We send out the emails at the end of the day, like at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. Okay? So that is wonderful communication. It's very instantaneous for what parents like. Let me say one thing about mail communication, okay? You have boys. Boys don't like writing letters, okay? They don't. We have 2 required days of writing at camp, okay? Every Tuesday night and every Saturday night, your son must write a letter. And we make sure this happens because the counselors for their cabins are not allowed to go out unless their campers turn in a letter. Okay? So the system is perfect. Okay? Counselors do not get their time off unless their kids turn in a letter that night. All right? So Tuesday night and Saturday night, I guarantee you there is a letter coming home. Okay? A word about Minocqua mail. It's slow. Okay? When your parent, so on a Saturday letter, obviously there's no mail on Sunday. We bring it to the box on Monday, and that might not get to you till Wednesday or Thursday. Okay? It's just the way it's not the best mail system up there, but the kids are writing. Okay? They are writing. They're writing twice a week at a minimum. Please have realistic expectations about how often your son will write.
And what they'll write.
And we'll get to the content in a second. But what we see is like a deluge when the parents are writing camp stamps, and every single email, and they're writing 5 a week, 6 a week, or more, and every single one has the blank page attached to it. Your son is not writing you back letter for letter. No matter 100% can guarantee it. You will not get 1 letter back for every letter you write. Not happening. So please have some realistic expectations about how often your son is writing, and then the content.
The content is not going to be great because number one, they have to actually use a pen and a pencil, and not a lot of kids are used to that anymore, and they have to write. My son writes to my mother and his mother, and they both told me that, like, please give him lined paper because I can't read what he's writing. So
and it's not like a soul.
Yeah, and it's like so vague. So anyways, just, some suggestions for younger kids is to write questions that you want to get answered, but don't overly question them because that annoys them and they don't want to answer all your questions. But a few questions here and there to write. If you want to make a letter that's a check-off sheet that you can send to them or on your email, just ask a few questions and then they can always answer you guys back that. But we've had kids who write like 1 word on the letter and put it in the mail, or whatever it is.
Or send a blank envelope.
Right, or send blank envelope. So just, you know, make sure that you're not, they do like to hear from you, even though they're not writing back, they really like to hear from you too. So, but I do think the emails are really good, even just to get quicker communication and back and forth. And like Matt said, they're not gonna write every letter, so I would wait if you do a response for them to respond back to you, to send another response. If they respond back to you, then send another response. There's also an option where you can print 10 of them and put them, you know, in their little whatever stationery thing that you get, and they can take those to camp and already have them ready to be able to write, so that you don't have to email them first or whatever you want. But and then also, and I'll show you where this is later, you can set up guest accounts for grandparents, friends, whatever. They can get, they can also get those letters back to them too, the return thing, and email your camper.
So just keep that in mind, and but we get this question. Yes, they are writing. Yes, we make them write. We do not guarantee the content, but they are doing that. All right, packages. Okay, we also have a strict package policy. We know that grandparents and parents alike want to send their kids cutesy, you know, things, and you know, little basketball hoops and games to play, and all these little novelties that you find at any of your stores. I can promise you from personal experience and from my 10 years as director now, it 90% of the time doesn't even get opened. Okay, the thrill of opening the package is great, but then it ends up, I have bags full that we donate every year of things the kids leave behind, and most of it is not even opened. Okay?
Well, that's because we don't allow packages.
Right, I was gonna say
right. We don't allow packages, so tell your grandparents, tell everybody, we don't allow packages. The only thing we allow are magazines, and you can send like a card game, that's fine, but no toys or anything like that. The kids don't need them, they don't use them, they're wasted, you're wasting your money. The gift of camp is what you're giving them, and that is the best gift of all. So just, you know, and you won't, your campers won't be writing to you saying like, so-and-so got a package, because it's not true. They did not get a package. Like, if they got something, it's a sports, the boys like Sports Illustrated, they like the Mads, they like the, you know, crossword puzzles, stuff like that they can do in those quiet times, and those are fine. So an envelope, but make sure you tell your family and friends, because your kids won't get it. We don't allow them. So we just take it, whatever's sent, and we put it in a donation pile and donate it to kids.
And this includes food. Do not send food to camp. Okay? The kids are fed very well. They snack a couple times a day. There's fruit out every day. They are fed well. Okay? We do not want food at camp. We don't want to have to worry about animals and those kinds of things. We actually, you know, we confiscate food from the cabins when they bring it up to camp. Don't send food. It wouldn't fit in the package if you're following the rules anyways, okay? So don't.
If there is an emergency where your camper forgot a pair of cleats or forgot their favorite hat, whatever, you can send that to camp and just put it to my attention, and then I'll make sure that they get it. If they like drop their toothbrush, we have toothbrushes for them. That's part of our camp store. If they run out of bug spray, if they, you know, their toothpaste explodes on the way up, like we have that stuff that we'll give them. Batteries for flashlights.
Shampoo, conditioner.
We have a Walmart that's close. If it's anything major, I would let you know. If your kid, a lot of times I'll get like, my kid's writing home that they have no socks. Like, we get socks? And so either, yes, you could send those socks up, or maybe they forgot to look in part of their bag and we can go search the bag for that. So, you know, just email me and let me know, and then we can figure out how the best way to get that.
All right, so that's our packages policy. We covered email. There's no phones for the kids to use at camp, obviously. You have access to Dewey and I. You can call us, you can email us. I think hopefully you're already finding we are very approachable. We make an effort to respond to emails within 12 to 24 hours every single day. I try to run a pretty routine schedule at camp. What I try to do for myself is I'm in the office in the morning, and that's when you'll get return phone calls and emails from me. And then I think it's very important for me to be out and around camp. So I am around camp pretty much all afternoon and evening as much as possible. I obviously check into the office and know what's going on. But typically if you send me an email or a phone call in the afternoon, you won't get a return till the morning. But that is our routine. And We run office hours. You'll hear like on a message, it's pretty much 9 to 5:30 is our office time. That is when you can expect to reach us. Obviously, we check messages throughout the day if it's an emergency. If you shoot us an email or you call after hours, we obviously will be checking those things. But generally speaking, you can expect to hear from us within 12 to 24 hours on any communication that you send. Please feel free to do that. Feel free to communicate with us. Ask how your son is doing. We are very transparent about what is going on at camp. There's nothing that's being hidden. We take 150 pictures a day. We blog about what's going on at camp. We're increasing our social media presence, so there'll be more videos out there. We do a weekly highlight video of everything that's going on at camp that runs 2 or 3 minutes every week. We deluge you with as much information as we can at camp while trying to keep some separation for you so you can enjoy your time away from your kids and your sons can enjoy their time away from you. So there's plenty of information going back and forth, but yes, you can contact us. And for all you first-time campers, so you know, or first-time parents, we will contact you within the first couple of days at camp. Within 4 to 5 days, we contact all of our first-time families. Typically it's Dewey, it's a phone call, just a kind of a check-in. This is how your son's doing, this is what we're seeing in his first couple of days, and how he's doing, whether he's homesick or not, and what kind of friends he's making. You will also receive a letter within the first week from your son's counselors. They will write you a letter introducing themselves, telling you who they are, and what they're seeing so far from your son, and you get that communication as well. All right. So with social media and Facebook, so we do all of our. We do all of our pictures on Facebook. Okay. In the middle of last summer, it was wonderful. So our Facebook page that we had got shut down because we were using it as like a person, and Facebook like flip-flopped their policies. So then everything had to get shifted over to our business page, and it was annoying. But so what we're doing this year to counter that is we developed what's called a closed group. So what will happen is this week, because we're making sure everyone knows about it now, but this week you'll get an email from us that'll explain to you how that you're going to get an invitation from our closed group that you'll accept, and then you can go to that Facebook closed group and see the pictures. We do it this way for your son's privacy. Okay. On the business page, which is the main page that you guys have been using to this point if you've gone on Facebook, it's totally public. There's really no way to limit it, who's seeing it, who's seeing pictures, and all that. On the closed group, only those people who we specifically invite or who you invite and then we allow into the group, they are the only ones that can see the pictures and the posts. Okay, it's not public knowledge. Now you can share that information once it leaves us and goes to you. You can share that. You can share that with family. But in order to see the pictures and the posts, you have to be a member of the closed group. So what you are going to need to do is accept an invitation to the closed group. If you have any family, grandparents, etc., that also want to see the pictures and be part of the closed group, you need to have them send us a request, and then we will invite them. If they ask to be let in before we know who they are, you might get an email from, they should identify who they are. So it should be, I'm Grandma Sue, I'm Aunt Ellen, and I'd like to be part of the closed group, so we know who they are, and then obviously we'll check with you to make sure this person is who they say they are, and then they'll get invited into the group, and then everyone sees the pictures. If you are not on Facebook, if you're not one of the billion people checking Facebook every day, it is okay. We have a guest account. If you want to use the guest account, you email us, we email you that directly. We do not send that out to publicize it. So if you want to use our guest Facebook account, we do have a guest account. And that is how you do pictures and posts, and there's a lot of information.
Facebook is just easier for pictures for a lot of reasons. They download faster, but you can just click on them and download them to your own computer. So it's really, whereas Campminder has this thing for that, but you either have to buy the pictures or you have to email it to, and then it was too many steps, and it takes us a longer time to upload to Campminder. So that's why we found Facebook to be the fastest way and easiest way for you guys to then keep those pictures for yourself or share them with your family and friends.
Okay. All right. So that's going to be the major way. If your parents are on Twitter or on Instagram, we also will be using those methods throughout the summer to post some videos and that stuff, but it all basically ties back into Facebook anyway, so don't worry too much. Your sons do not need spending money at camp at this age, okay? I don't care what they tell you or what their friends are saying that they have money, they do not need money at camp. You have paid for camp, assuming you paid for camp. You have paid for camp, okay? Everything's included, the food, the Gatorade. The only thing that has not been paid for yet is like Kawaga gear, or if you have a birthday party at camp, medication that happens up at camp, you know, your son gets sick and needs a prescription, those kinds of extra incidentals, but everything else you guys have taken care of. We do one-stop shopping, okay? You are paid for camp. Your kids do not need money. When they go into town, the few times they go into town, 4th of July, a bike trip, what have you, we will give them the $5 they need to get through the day, okay? They are taken care of. The only time campers need money is when they hit the older ages in high school, because they do some more town trips, they do some other incidental stuff. We make camp exciting for them too, in a different way. As they get older, they can use some extra money. But basically, Mohawks and down, which is everybody in this room, needs no money, okay? And campers, again, so you hear this, anything else that you need, toothbrushes, toothpaste, any of that stuff, we have at camp for you. Okay, if you lose it, you drop it in the toilet, you just don't know what happened to it, just talk to your counselor, come say something to do your eye, we will get you anything that you need that you lose. Okay, so that was that. All right, we're going to open this up for some questions in just a second. I wanted to just make sure. Okay. All right, so just to kind of wrap up my end of it, and then we're going to open it up for any questions that you may have. You know, one of the things that makes